And storms to track. There aren't very many, at least into eastern Kentucky, but they've been steadily progressing into our western counties. So some active weather today. You've got showers up I-75. You've got showers and some lightning. Lawrenceburg going back to the west around Bardstown. So some thunderstorms thrown into the mix, and you want to watch out. Don't expect severe weather today, but some of these storms are putting down some moderate to heavy rain, and they do extend all the way to the southwest, becoming a little more scattered down around Bowling Green. So big picture, they're tracking in. We'll push east. We'll see them diminish a bit, and then we may see a few more late in the day. Rainfall amounts have been heaviest up towards Louisville, where they've been close to an inch, showing around 3/4 of an inch, and nothing south and east. So what are we in for? Well, we've got this batch tracking east, diminishing, and that may set us up for some redevelopment. I think this will last long enough into the day. If you're watching earlier this morning, there was the concern that maybe we could see some outflow boundaries from these storms lingering and some additional development. But since they're taking so long to get through into the afternoon, this may be our round. Just some minimal development by later on this evening, and then that'll diminish after sunset. And then potentially an isolated shower or thunderstorm tomorrow. The tropics remain the big story. Of course, Jose off the east coast, which is looking less and less tropical with each passing hour. This clearly is still tropical. That's Maria. And then back to the west, no longer an issue. It's just a remnant low, what used to be Lee, which is essentially sheared apart way out in the Atlantic. So, Hurricane Maria, Category 5 storm, that well-defined eye. And right there is San Juan, Puerto Rico. That's where it's heading next. The U.S. Virgin Islands in the crosshairs there, as well as Puerto Rico. And it's packing 160-mile-per-hour sustained winds. See this? This is Dominica. It went through there this morning, and what's interesting about this path, you can watch it as it interacts with land, just a little bit of a jog in the track there, and there was brief weakening as it went through, briefly down to a Category 4, a high on Category 4 this morning. Then it got out into open water, warm surface temperatures, sea surface temperatures, and a low shear environment. There's not much to slow this thing down. So if we look at the San Juan radar, you can start to see those outer rain bands spiraling in, and it's even picking up the very top of that eye wall as Maria continues that slow and eventual advance and landfall in towards Puerto Rico. This looks to be a direct hit, probably as a Category 4. This could be devastating for Puerto Rico, with the huge population that's packed in there, and as well the severity of the storm. Now, eventually it's going to cut north towards the Turks and Caicos Islands and eventually start to push north. So the big question in the next week, that's what we're talking about. That's Sunday. Where does it go from there? It'll be somewhere in the Atlantic, well off the East Coast. They still got tropical storm warning and hurricane warnings up, and there's still tropical storm watches and warnings up across New England states, because we've still got this weakening low that's eventually going to be non-tropical and just spinning out in the North Atlantic, just off the U.S. coastline there. So, forecast-wise, highs, upper 70s to low 80s. We've got extra cloud cover around, so we're not going to warm up much today. But the shower and storm threat will be minimal tomorrow. And check out that 8-day forecast. We hit fall Friday, the autumnal equinox, and it's not going to feel anything like it anytime soon. Highs firmly in the mid-80s all the way through the rest of that 8-day.
Oh, no complaints here, Tom. Thank you.